everyone, and welcome back to the MN Homestead. Today is the day that we get a queen back in our hive. It's been many weeks that we've been without a queen. We first noticed that she was gone several weeks ago, and we also saw that our hive was working on making a couple of new queens, so we waited for those queen cells to hatch. Takes about 2 weeks. It can then take up to 3 weeks for a queen to start laying because she has a couple of days that she first hatches and is starting to function. Then she has to take a couple of mating flights. She mates with 10 to 15 different drones, and so that may take a couple of different flights. If she hasn't mated properly, she won't start laying eggs. And then of course she has to come back and start laying. My main concern when I realized we were queenless is we don't have a whole lot of other beekeepers in our area, and I don't think we have any particularly close, especially not close enough for our honeybees to mate. That definitely is a concern that was founded. In the last several weeks, we have not found that a queen has been viable and started laying. That means we ordered a lady from Ohio. She came earlier today, and I, even though it's a work day, I zoomed right up here, took the afternoon off, because I want to get her in the hive as soon as possible. I'm going to give you a quick peek at how she came, and then I'm going to walk you through the process of getting her into the hive. And here we have our queen. You can see her in there. She's the one with the little turquoise dot. She ships with several other worker bees with her, although extremely important in that she takes care of keeping the hive populated by laying all of the eggs. The queen is not all that competent and not that bright. She cannot feed herself, she cannot get herself water or anything like that. So these worker bees are necessary to keep her alive and functioning. So you can see her right back there in the turquoise dot. She's coming right into view a little better there. Right over here, this other turquoise stuff is what they call candy. That is there so that the other bees can get into her, the bees that are already in the hive. Unfortunately, when I put this queen in, the current bees are going to see her as a threat and they will try to kill her. I put her in this little box. By having the other bees need to chew through all of that candy, which will take several days, the hope is that they will have taken that time to become comfortable with her and accept her as one of their own. Also, the worker bees inside have been eating the candy from this side to keep the queen fed. So I'm going to prop this in the hive. I'm going to put it at a slight angle, and I'm going to make sure it's propped up so that the bees currently in the hive can eat from this direction so they can start making their way to the queen. As always, I have my smoker going. I'm going to give a few puffs to the openings here. And then I'm going to take off my outer cover. There are a couple of bees hanging out inside. I'm just going to set this down face up so none of them get squished. And here I am with my inner cover. I'm going to spray a little bit down in here and take this off as well. I'm just going to prop this up against the side of the hive so that I don't get anybody squished there either. Because our population is so low, there are very few bees right now, so I'm not spraying as much as I may have other times. Of course, it would be great if we had a viable queen, so I am going to double check just a little bit to see if anybody has made it. So I'm looking for eggs or larvae, not expecting to see any. So here I see some honey, some nectar, and that's it. I do have an empty queen cell from the queens that were bred but not viable, so I'm just gonna take those empty ones off really quickly. There's nobody in them. The queens hatched, but nothing came of it because they were not able to properly mate. So I'm just taking this excess comb off. Even though I don't need to smoke them again, I'm going to make sure my smoker keeps going. And here I have my queen. Because I need plenty of room to get her in, I am going to take out one of the frames that is empty because I want to be able to spread these out to make some more room. So I'm just taking that out there. The bees that are on it will find their way back in, no problem. And as I said, I'm going to spread these out a little bit. So what I see here is the top of the frames in the second box, of course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little lady and I'm going to prop her up just against this so she's at a slight angle. That will allow the other bees access to the candy, which again they will be eating to try and get into the queen. And since it is small in there and there aren't a lot of bees, I'm not real concerned with getting stung. And even if I get stung, it is what it is. I am going to take my glove off and go in gloveless. Okay. Our queen is in the hive. You can see I have her propped at a slight angle, and some of the bees currently in the hive are already starting to climb around and check her out. The box that the queen is in is fairly deep. It is possible that some of the bees currently in the hive would try and kill her with their stings. So the box is deep enough that their stings would not be able to reach through and get the queen with how far down she is. And there are a few more checking her out. Because I want this to be successful, I'm going to close the hive up right away. Thank you for joining me on our journey to get our new queen into the hive. As I mentioned, it takes several days for the hive to acclimate to her, chew through that candy to get her out of her little cage. And then it also takes several days for her to become comfortable, begin laying, and restart the process of a healthy reproducing hive. Because we don't want to interrupt that at all, we're not going to look back in the hive for at least 7 days, and we're going to probably push it out to about a week and a half. We really want to make sure this is successful. We've waited a long time to get a queen back in here and laying. We really would hate to screw it up. So I hope you enjoyed watching us get this queen back in the hive, and I hope you're sending good vibes toward it in hopes that we can be ready to rock and roll again soon. I really encourage you to hit that subscribe button below and hit the little follow icon next to it. You get notified every time we post a video. We post every Friday or Saturday and every Wednesday as well. We post a short video, 3 minutes or less, of something that was peaceful, joyful, relaxing about our time up here. And I think it's a great way to take a few moments, take a deep breath, and I hope it's something that you can use when you're having a stressful day, if you're trying to fall asleep, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do when I'm actually experiencing it. Along with checking us out on YouTube, make sure to follow our blog, themnhomestead.com, and check us out on Instagram at the.mn.homestead. And we will see you next time up here at the homestead.